Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to use a voltmeter. I'm going to run through these pretty fast, so don't get mad at me. Just pause it and rewind it. Kind of watch it over again if you have to. I got a whole lot I got to go over here. But the first thing I'm going to go over is AC voltage. That's like electricity in your house. This is a symbol on your voltmeter. Most people got voltmeters like this. It's broke on me, so can't use that one. You gotta use this fancy one. But you'll put it on AC voltage to test the voltage coming into a circuit in your house, garage, stuff like that. It's the AC is the power coming off the power lines. It's alternating current. You can test the voltage putting your prongs inside of the outlet like this. It should give you a reading between 125 and 110. The voltage actually goes up and down throughout the day depending on how much people is using. Another way to test it is you could put it on the silver screw and put the black on the silver screw and the red on the gold screw. That'll give you a reading. Another way is on a breaker box. This is gonna be my new breaker box. She's a big girl. Got plenty of space for a lot of stuff. When you're getting inside this thing, man, be careful because it is dangerous. Just respect it. You'll have to take the face of your breaker box off and you'll be able to access all this stuff. So this is a single pole 20 amp breaker. This is a double pole 200 or 50 amp breaker. This is for 240 volts. So you got 120 volts here, 120 volts here, and together that's 240. And this one's just 120 volt, 20 amp breaker. You will put your red lead, positive lead on the screw on the breaker, and you will put your black lead on the neutral bus bar simultaneously, of course. If you have a real old breaker box, you may only have a ground bar, and you can just put it on there too. Put the black on there, and the red on the breaker, and test it that way. On a 240 volt, well, something I should have said before I said that. You have different settings on here. So for 120 volts, you're going to want to do 200, and for 240 volts, you want to go up to 600 to test it. And on a 240 volts, like this breaker, you will put one lead on this screw and your other lead on this screw, and that'll give you the voltage on that circuit. 240 is for like your oven, your water heater, your heat pump, stuff like that. Just about everything else is 120 volts. DC voltage, electricity, like in cars, batteries, things like that. I actually don't have a battery here, but the positive will go, the red terminal, I guess, will go on the positive terminal, and the black prong will go on the negative terminal. You can test voltage that way. Another useful thing you can do is stick it in the socket of a fuse for your car, see if it's getting voltage. You could test it on even like a AA battery and just put this on the negative, put this on the positive, and that'll give you a reading. This is a symbol for DC voltage. I'm gonna give y'all a close-up of this board. That way y'all can just screenshot it and save it to your phone or something. That way you'll know what all these symbols mean. I don't know if y'all can, how far away it is from y'all. If you can see it good. Hertz, that is the, how fast the wave goes up and down in the AC voltage, how fast it goes from the top to the bottom to the middle, makes a complete wave, I guess, in a second. And the USA standard is 60 hertz a second. It makes a wave, it makes 60 waves in 1 second. Honest to God, like I've never used hertz. I've never seen anybody use hertz. I doubt y'all will. So, but that is the symbol for hertz. If you want to use it. I don't know what you're going to use it on. If you do use it, let me know. I'd be interested to see what you do use it on. Moving on. Continuity is very useful in trying to troubleshoot things, breaking your wires, stuff like that. Also, if you get a reading on your voltmeter that says OL, what that stands for is over limit. So we don't have any continuity right now because we don't have a complete circuit. Prongs are apart from each other. But if you touch it on each side, it'll give you a beep sound, letting you know that it is making a circuit. Something you could use this on is like outlets on the wall. Say you're getting power to one outlet but not the other. You can see if there's a break in between them. If it gives you a beep sound, that means your wires ain't in tube. So it could be your outlet. Tracing car problems, trying to figure out if there's a break in the wires there. Figuring out where the wires run on a circuit. Say you're going to a light or something like that, where it goes after that. It's really useful. AC voltage, current, or amps. Unless you have a clamp meter like this, you're not going to be able to safely test your AC amps. Drag the breaker box back out. What you'll do, you'll put it on your amp setting for AC power. Like if you're just gonna do a 120 volt, you'd probably want to do the 40 amp. If you're gonna go 40 amp will probably handle most of this stuff, unless you're like on a heat pump that's really straining or something. You may want to put it on 400 amps. But you just clamp it on the wire, and it has to actually clamp onto the wire coming out of your breaker box. You know, you gotta take the face of your breaker box off. It'll have to clamp onto that wire, and it'll give you a reading of how much amps that your appliances are pulling, whether it be your heat pump or different things like that. Microwave really pulls a lot of amps. If you're on a 240 volt, you only have to do one wire. You don't have to try to do both of them. It'll still give you an amp reading of how many it's pulling off of both of these. And DC voltage, current, or amps, this is a symbol for it. You could use the amp setting on seeing how much power something's drawing in your car. You could put it in you could take a fuse out of your fuse box and put these in. It'll let the circuit run through this, and it'll tell you how many amps it's drawing. A parasitic drag test is another good thing. Say your car's battery is draining overnight or something like that. It's something staying on that shouldn't stay on. And if you suspect it, the first thing to do is to take your negative terminal off your battery. You'll have, just imagine with me here. This is your negative terminal on your battery, and this is your negative wire. You're going to take it off, and you're going to connect this lead here and this lead here, and see if it's drawing any amps. If it's not drawing any amps that show up on regular DC voltage current or amps, you'll probably have to go down to the millivolts. It actually shouldn't pull over, or milliamps, I'm sorry. It shouldn't pull over 50 milliamps, I think. That's what's normal. If it's pulling anything over than that, then something's staying on that shouldn't be on. Then you'll have to go into your fuse box and go through that big mess. Ohms is the resistance. Of like a wire. You have little resistors like in computers and different things like that. I doubt y'all be working on that, but you may. They'll have different color bands on them. They'll have like pink, gray, blue, all these different colors. And the colors stand for so many ohms of resistance. You'll probably have to Google it. I know I would. I'm not that good at remembering all the colors on there. You could test resistance that way. A resistor, just it'll kind of look like a pop can, and it'll have two wires sticking out of it. You can put it on each side and test the resistance of it. Another thing you could do is test the resistance of your wires, or and a car component, I guess. They have different ohms, what they should be reading, and it'll tell you. So like this is a resistance of like 0.2 of an ohm. That's probably because I'm not really holding it on there good. And I'm actually going to wrap this video up. I'm going to do this one as a separate video because it's a little bit more advanced, but most of this stuff is what everybody will be using. But I hope this video helps you out, and I'll see y'all in the next one.